Quite often someone will come to me, and often a question that a young woman will have is, should I marry George or Tom or Dick or Harry? And I will proceed to shuffle the cards as she concentrates on her question. And when she has it firm in her mind, we will cut the cards, and then she will put the cards back in the order that she wants them in. Then we will read. The first card covers the question. She has the Chariot here, which is like a protective influence of family all around her. We are crossing the question with the Eight of Pentacles, which can be an opposing force or it can be a helpful force. But this shows an educational or working experience. So maybe she met George at work. Then this shows that it was a very exciting, promising event because we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom. It's possible that George has been married in the past. We have a Seven of Cups here. And she's been wishing and hoping to meet someone for quite a while, too. And up above, we have the Lovers, which seems very appropriate that she's looking for love and they'd like to marry. And she's asking, is he the right one? It's looking really promising because we have the Two of Cups in the future, which is reciprocal love. It's all looking very favorable at the moment. We have the Sun down here in her House of Fears, which is a light coming out and dispelling all the fears that she might have. We have the Star of Destiny. I mean, this is a destined situation. And here we have the King of Wands. Now, it could be that George has a very fiery nature. And the final answer, oops, we have another man showing up. So, as the Lovers can indicate a choice between two, and she may have only met the first man, so that she'll end up having to choose. But it's all a part of her destiny.
For the Fool on his journey, destiny has not begun to take a hand. He has only just started to learn about himself as he moves through the major arcana. The Emperor and Empress are the next two cards he meets. They represent the security and guidance of parents. When the Empress card appears in a reading, it suggests a happy and mature relationship, sometimes even pregnancy. When the Emperor appears, it shows the need for wisdom and leadership, law and order. Divination from any deck of cards depends on one central belief, that the fall of the cards can be more than a random event. There are so many possible combinations of the tarot cards that the chances of them falling the same way twice are minute, 1 in many millions. And tarot readers believe that the cards that turn up are no accident.
I've been asked this question by quite a few of my clients at the end of their reading. If we picked these up and started over, what would we get, you know? But I find in my experiences of teaching, and when you do just a 10-card spread, which you could do 2 or 3 times, that I've had the same card come up as an answer 2 out of 3 times. Or I've had the same cards come up in a spread in slightly different positions, or cards with very similar meanings come up.
Tarot readers agree that the shuffle of the cards upon which the deal depends is the most important point in the process. Many readers are certain that the hands of the shuffler are influenced by subconscious energies, but they disagree about who should shuffle the cards. Bob Place always shuffles himself.
When I am shuffling, the small motor muscles, in my hands are controlling where the cards are going, and I'm unconsciously ordering the cards. When I'm done shuffling the cards, my hands stop. They don't want to shuffle anymore. Obviously, I could force them to shuffle, but I don't need to force them. I know it's time, and I stop, and then I let the person make the final cut, and the cards come out, and it works.
Other readers insist that the querent takes part in the shuffling process.
The main reason I think that you do get the client to mix the cards is that so they do have some personal interaction in what comes up. Because I always remember one client in particular who came to see me and who was expecting a clairvoyant. And she was quite shocked at the thought that she had to shuffle cards, and she was quite insistent. She didn't want to mix them. She wanted no responsibility. She just wanted to be told what was going to happen. She felt she didn't want to influence anything. And it was then I thought, mix the cards. And it was quite an experience for her because she found that there was nothing to be scared of. So I make them mix the cards thoroughly, put them into 4, 5 or 6 piles. then I make them take the top card of each pile, turn it around, and then I get them to mix them back again. And the whole process means that they are thoroughly mixed into those cards, and they can't deny it.
The shuffle is considered so important that readers sometimes prepare for it by building concentration through rituals, such as unwrapping the cards, playing music, or lighting candles.
When I begin to shuffle the cards, I'm a voluntary clairvoyant, and when I begin to shuffle the tarot cards, that's the signal to my unconscious to get ready to be psychic, to open up, to go in a slightly altered place, which is like a meditative state.
The ritual of the tarot is echoed in the next card of the Fool's Journey, the Hierophant, also known as the Pope. He represents the Fool's spiritual father. From him, the Fool learns humility and compassion. When the Pope card appears in a reading, it can signify someone who is greatly respected by the querent. Real-life popes have taken an unfavorable view of the tarot. The 15th and 16th century church suppressed any suggestion of a power not ratified by Christianity. Declared dangerous and heretical, tarot cards were banned and systematically burnt wherever they were found. The tarot went underground. It was to remain hidden for some 200 years, until a chance meeting propelled it once more out of obscurity. In the late 1770s, a French clergyman called Antoine Court de Gebelin came upon some travelers playing cards. He was intrigued and delighted by their deck. He had never seen such strange and fascinating images on a pack of cards. The travelers told him that they believed their cards to have come from Egypt. This struck an immediate chord with Gebelin, who was already interested in new evidence that the ancient Egyptians had been masters of magic and ritual.
Antoine Court de Gebelin, 1781, he published 8 volumes dealing with esoteric material, including a chapter called Le Jeu du Tarot in Le Monde Primitif. And he had the idea that the Egyptian temples and the libraries, which were destroyed in Egypt, were now really a reincarnation in the tarot cards. And here were the 78 pages from those libraries that you could see if you looked at every one of the tarot cards.
Gebelin began working on the cards, deciphering their meaning, and claiming in his book that the cards came from a lost Egyptian magical handbook, the Book of Thoth. The Egyptian connection was a potent one. There is even a Book of Thoth deck, but Gebelin's conclusions may have been hasty.
Many of the tarot readers talk about the Book of Thoth, this supposedly mystical book that has a lot of power in it and gives you information about things that you're not supposed to know. There are books that had occult powers, that had magical powers for the Egyptians. But a specific Book of Thoth we don't have.
Whether Gebelin was right or wrong, his book was extremely influential.
Within 2 years of the publication of Court de Gebelin's theories, a man called Aliette, who reversed his name to Eteia, and had various occupations, but in the past he had been a professional fortune teller, and he became one again, only this time using the tarot pack.
Eteia became the first of the successful society tarot readers, and set about giving the cards new meanings and devising new spreads. The spread he is best known for is the Great Figure of Destiny. One of the largest spreads ever devised, it is still in use. The spread involves shuffling and laying out all 78 cards of the deck. As with every spread, position determines the relevance of the cards. Cards on the right-hand side of the spread refer to the querent's past. The Lover's card is the 6th of the Fool's symbolic journey through the major arcana. It's about decisions. The Fool learns that he must choose between the golden-haired woman, who represents the sensible choice, and a dark-haired woman who represents the sensual. The Fool must either follow his head or his heart. When the Lover's card appears in a reading, it's a warning to make choices wisely, because there are far-reaching consequences.